Spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran, the blue Terran himself, representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. From the land of Germany. Let's go. Let us go. But also, thank you so much. Grip904 in the chat. I do appreciate it. Triggering that core memory of of Trigger doing that build against Raynor. Again, like I knew that like we'd seen it like recently, but like it was slipping my mind. But yes, Trigger did do that in LiuLi Cup against Raynor in the group stage successfully, actually, very successfully. It also, I guess, helped that Trigger did do this on this map, on Tourmaline, on a smaller map where reinforcements are faster and reinforcements hit harder as well. Creator had a hard time really gaining momentum. He was trading well for himself, don't get me wrong, he was trading well, but again didn't quite have enough momentum to actually push into the expansion and to break the third base, or to really do much more than that. You could argue that the links from Raynor, they did their job, right? So they ensured that Zealots, they had a really hard time actually being a part of the fight. They were being left idle. You could argue that maybe we could have peeled off a couple of them to push forward, to come with the Stalkers as well, just to brute force the issue. But regardless, GG, well played. And now we're settling into our next matchup. It's going to be a TVZ between Maru and Lambo. Let's go. So far, standard opener, ranks expand, but welcome to Tourmaline, and I'm a little bit surprised this map wasn't vetoed. Traditionally, smaller maps do favor Terran, just because they allow for Terran players to be even more aggressive and even more assertive, and rally across the map even harder as well. Tourmaline is an interesting case. It is a small map, so in that sense I do favor Maru here, but at the same time the map is very open. It's very open and very prone to surrounds, so depending, especially if you can get into the mid game, then there are a lot of flanks, surrounds, and you can outposition your opponent, you can outposition the Terran and get some better engagements. There is potential. Meanwhile, 3CC. That is a that's a third CC before factory and before racks. Oh my god. It's incredibly greedy build here by Maru. So very greedy starts. I'm feeling 3CC, 3 racks. Yep. So 3CC, we should be seeing another racks after this as well. This is not the first time we've seen this build out of Maru in recent times. I believe we saw this during Thunderfire. Was it Thunderfire or LiuLi Cup? Again, all the big events are blending together here. But I believe we saw Maru in... Well, it would have been LiuLi Cup, right? Yes. Actually, he played in both. that doesn't help things. But he played in both LiuLi Cup and Thunderfire. But I'm thinking of Maru versus Lambo. Sorry, Maru versus Raynor at Thunderfire. As we're going for a 3CC 2-on-1 variation. Interesting. So we're going to be going for a sim timing. Now this add-on, this is a really interesting build. This factory is much later than usual. We are still going for the add-on swap into reactor Hellion production. Our eyes are on Maru to see if he makes 2, 4, or 6 or even more Hellions. It should only be up to 4 max, and then switching back into Marine production for that stim timing. But if he keeps making more Hellions, then there's a higher chance that we do see an armory for a 3CC 2-on-1 Hellbat push. So how many Hellions? We got 2 so far. Getting another set of Hellions. Only getting 3 Hellions actually. Okay, 4. There we go. Like 4 Hellions is enough to give you a bit of a presence on the map and to scout, but yep, there it is, armory. So now we understand it. Now we see why he went for the add-on swap into the reactor delayed, is to actually to commit into Hellbats. So it is going to be a Hellbat timing. Lambo does expand towards his opponent, so he's going to have faster creep across the map. This is a much more aggressive and assertive start. Lambo going lair first before any other tech structure. It's going to be lair into Banelings for a Ling Bane setup, and we'll see if Lambo can survive the Hellbat timing. It's going to hit quite hard. It's going to hit very, very strong, and it'll come down to Lambo's positioning, his queens as well. We bring this up all the time, but technically you can defend against this with purely Queen Ling, but only if you don't get caught. What I mean by that, if you notice, how many queens do we have in total? We have 8. And 8 queens altogether can defend. They can muster up a defense. But right now there are 3 queens forward, and if these 3 queens get caught on their own, thankfully we bring them all together, but if they got caught on their own, then that could just be game. And we have seen that before. Meanwhile, the Marines, they still step forward. They catch out the Overlord. Here come the Hellbats. We have 7 Banelings morphing in. They're coming. But is it too late? As Maru, he stems into the middle line. He wants those queens. Banelings are almost done. And Maru playing very carefully. He did spot the Banelings.
Complete.
And he backs off. Okay, very respectful here from Maru. Spots the Banelings, pulls the hell out of there. Behind this, getting his third base. Remember, it was a greedy opener and a greedy build. And we have a second factory? Okay. Let him cook, Pappy. Let him cook. Second factory is very unorthodox. You would typically reserve your second factory until you have all of your 6 gases. Here we're doing it on 2 bases, so very fast second factory. Here this could lead into a heavy Widowmine setup. In my mind, that would make sense. Going into, let's say, like a tech lab, into drilling claws, into a heavy mine style. Yeah, tech lab is on the way in my mind. Yep, there we go. Widowmine production, tech lab, drilling claws. Which again, we did see this against Raynor. It's a very heavy momentum based kind of style, and it actually does allow you to even go for like mid game drop play as well, like Widowmine drops. Maru does rotate. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Iceland. Thank you so much. Oh my, all the gifted subs today, Pappy. The 6th gifted sub to Setuna. Thank you, Iceland. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Este Iceland. As the main does roll in, catching out some of the Hellbats, which they're meant to be traded. At the same time, mine drop here into the forward base. Rotating over. Drilling claw still not yet done, but it's on the way. As Lambo still setting up his thing, Bane. Setting up, going for another mine drop. 8 drones going down. This time Lambo is paying attention. Drilling claws is complete, but he should be able to react in time. Does pull away. Yeah, pulls away. Oh no! Oh my god, 2. 2 drones go down. That could have been so much worse. Does back off, does pull away.
Upgrade complete.
And Maru is still just rallying across the map, still with a plethora of Widow Mines. Against Link Bane, Maru, he has a very efficient composition. We are trying to switch into Hydras, but there aren't that many, only 11 Hydras. Lambo trying to be active. Widowmine drop comes back in. Oof, catching out 8 more drones. This is getting a little bit out of hand as we have 1 more mine drop left. Oh! And can we reach Logon? We can!
Mineral field
completed. The unburrow. Repositioning. Catching out Ducklings instead. And again, this kind of like mid-game mind drop play is very rare. It's very rare in I mean, all matchups really. Even against Protoss. But hey, Maru, he's making it worth it. Getting damage done. Going in once again. Going in for another drop. Lambo does pull away. Oh no! Oh my god, massive connections, and we have 1 more mine here towards the 3rd. This time, once again, late reaction. This time only getting 1 drone. Widowmine does survive. Maru, he's being fancy. He's being fancy. Oh my god. Yeah, Lambo, he tries to commit in. Takes a massive mind shots to the face. Banelings, they don't quite make it past the Hellbats. They do not make it through, not into planetary, not into the tank line, as we're switching out of just pure Widow Mines into tanks. So tank mine out of Maru. Lambo trying to collapse in, getting on top of the tank. Up! We get some decent Baneling connections. But again, Lambo's economy has not been ideal. Still trying to trade. A late hive here for Lambo. Ooh, for a moment we had some safety infestors on the way. We have one. Okay, one infestor. We got one fungal. Smart still being very active. Oh. Does back up in time. Clutch pickup. Both arms are maxed. Now there's no more fungals. And Lambo, he has to make a stand here and now. If he doesn't, he will lose the base. That's the other downside here of Tourmaline. It's so smap. Sorry, it's so small, so few maps. We're still waking up, Pappy. Oh! That's means they crash in. Decent connection. Nice flank here out of Lambo. Very nice flank. But barely can he break through. Not quite. Oof. Yeah, not quite. No more lings, no more banes. The Hydras are exposed. Oh, he overextends. Yeah, bleeds out most of his Hydras. Army keeps rushing forward. Sure, we have a fungal, but there's no follow-up. This time there are no banelings. Yeah, fungal lands. The lings extra in. The expansion goes down. And you can see the momentum swing heavily in favor of Maru. Maru, he's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. Lambo plummeting. They're at 70 supply. Jesus. But again, he lost one of his most important bases, right? His mining bases has been shut down. He took a really rough fight to losing all of his Hydras. Did overextend. And at this point, Maru has done it. Maru, he has broken Lambo, pushing on in, denying the center expansion, and now going for the kill. Going for the kill, going for the throat. Lambo did hold his own for a lot of this game, but again, it was a really unorthodox style that he was playing against. Going up against the faster factories and non-stop Widowmine drops. GG gets called, and Maru takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And this has been a bit of a newer style that Maru has been showcasing as of late, and I really do appreciate it. If you remember, we were a little bit, oh, I say a little bit, we were very critical last year of Maru. Like, I would say that 2025 Maru left much to be desired. Did leave much to be desired, and it did feel like yeah, he was kind of being left behind in terms of the meta in a sense. So last year, Maru, he was very, very fond of Araxes, of mech as well, of these like very specific styles that he was not really deviating away from. We even saw that at DreamHack Dallas, if you recall. But after the patch, ZvT was kind of shaken up, right? With the introduction of the Baneling buff, of mutas being more viable as well, ZvT had to change, had to adjust, and Maru has been so much more flexible over the past couple of months ever since the patch. So I'm very happy that the patch did succeed in that, in kind of breaking that mold and forcing out different styles and forcing some more activity out of our Terran players, and I feel like Maru is a prime example of that. Known back in the day for a little bit more of a macro style or turtley style, but nowadays being more active. To appreciate it. GG. GG, well played. With that, Maru, he does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend that lead even further and claim it here and now, or if Lambo can bounce back. Up next, loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Bottom right hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself, the German Zerg for Shopify. It is Lambo. Here we go. So we're getting into game 2. As we load in, we'll see if Maru does go for a similar style, bearing in mind that last game he went for a 3cc 2-on-1 Hellbat push. What was most exciting to me was that he was very mature with his Hellbat push. It was a more unique variation, of course, with the later factory. But once he saw that Lambo was ready with Banelings, like, Maru, he just backed off. He preserved his army and built up into a later timing, which was viable here because Maru went for such a fast 3rd CC. I feel like he can get away with greed even better here on Winter Madness. Larger map, longer rush distance. Likewise, we expect to see some more macro out of Lambo as well, some more greed even is what I should say. And we could even potentially see Muto play, which can be quite difficult against a fast player for sure, but we'll see. Lambo does have options and should have more breathing room here. Go. As Maru does claim his natural, so does Lambo so far. Everything's looking normal, everything's looking as it should be. Everything's looking standard. And from here, we're waiting for our tech of choice. Last game, we went straight into a 3rd CC. And Maru, he might do it again. He's banking up resources. Yeah, he's going for it. Eyes are on the SV. Same build here, 2 games in a row. 3rd CC before any other tech structure here. So racks, expand into what? Into most likely a 2nd racks, then into the factory, into the 2-on-1. We'll see if Maru deviates. But so far, my eyes are on Maru. Like, this is a more unique build and a unique setup here that we're seeing, I would say, for the first time. Yep, 2nd racks. 2nd racks into factory, into add-on swap. Whether he goes to the same Hellbat push variation, I'm curious to see. I feel like a lot of it will come down to whether or not he add-on swaps with the factory. Oh, this time it's the build that we thought it was last game. 3cc, 3 racks. Okay. This is something that we did see during Thunderfire. So this is a very greedy build. Very greedy build here. There are some pros, there are some cons. But this does make sense on a larger map. The biggest con, the biggest downside to this, especially on Tourmaline, is that you would be very vulnerable to a roach all-in, right? Roach all-ins hit so hard, especially when you're delaying tank production, when you're delaying your factory, when you're delaying scouting as well. Reaper dips in, and Reaper does get some information across the map. This time going into Massive Marine like this and going into triple Raxes can be very greedy. You can even see here we have a double eBay follow-up, and I believe if I remember correctly, when it comes to a series against Raynor at Thunderfire, it was 3cc 3 racks, and this led into an 8 racks 3 base all in. Just because of the hyper greed early on, it leads into a very strong 2-2 timing with an 8 racks. So in my mind, that's the direction that this game is kind of leading us in. And if Lambo doesn't punish this early, then Lambo will be punished instead. Like, this build hits like a truck. So again, it's not about the 1-1, it's about the 2-2, at least in my mind. So now, just getting our factory into Starport, into reactor, into add-on solve, into medevac production. Stim is on the way. Lambo currently hasn't seen anything, which is a bit of a shame. That's what's scary about current, I would say, these games that we've been seeing out of Maru, is that it is very unorthodox, it's very unique. What I mean by that, Kira isn't doing this, Björn isn't doing this, Clem isn't doing this. Like, these builds that we've been seeing game 1 and now in game 2, in this matchup are much more unique to Maru. Much more unique. I think we might have seen Björn do this build, like 3cc 3 racks against Zerg. I think we might have seen that out of Björn maybe once. But even then, like, I don't know if I can say that with full certainty. I know that Björn likes this build against Protoss, 100%. He's very fond of this build against Protoss. I know that Beyond is very close with Maru and they share builds. But we'll see. Armory's on the way. That'll be for 2-2. As I mentioned, this is all coming into a 2-2 timing. We're building up to 5 Raxes, and we're expecting to see 3 more Raxes thrown down. If we see no gas at the 3rd and 3 more Raxes, that confirms the 3 base all in. So Maru's just been chilling and doing his own thing. Lambo has been droning, saturating. I believe Lambo did go earlier lair. Yep, he went lair into Baneling Nest into delayed Evo chambers. So this is really safe play. A really safe play out of Lambo. And that means in the grand scheme of things that Lambo is behind. Just because he played so safely, it means that his upgrades are delayed. So delayed upgrades. He's got faster Baneling speed, but that doesn't matter if there's no all-in coming. No aggression coming. Lambo does confirm the Mass Marine. He knows. So Lambo, he never got into the bases, but now he is aware of the Mass Bio setup. We see Lambo rushing into the Infestation Pit. Interesting. Okay, I like the idea of rushing into Infestors. I do like the idea. As Mars being active. And you see what I see? I see a 4th CC. A 4th command center and a 2nd factory. This should lead into extra gases. It looks like this is not an 8 racks. This is not a 3-base all-in. We are building and macroing up into a longer game. Otherwise, we would have seen these 3 raxes earlier. Like, we're still building up into 8 raxes, but that's after the 2nd factory. That's after the 4th CC. After the follow-up. Oh! That's a bit of Saber to pull away. Pull away, they pull back home. Lambo, he has his pits. Does he have any infestors? Not yet. So no safety infestors. From here we can get into just the hive. Oh, there it is. Straight hive. Now I'm curious who it's first. Lambo, with his setup here, he's primed to go into ultras, right? To go into the ultra cavern, to go into ultra production with the melee upgrades. That would make sense here, but can Lambo get there? Without infestors, it's going to be difficult. It's 2-2 is finishing. Maru, he can start to be active. Bane does collapse in. Catching up some Marines. Main army does hit the 3rd, or in the natural. So far good reactions as Maru gets away with the SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, minimal losses. Lambo committing into the 3rd base though. It does collapse in. Maru out of position. He's being torn apart actually. Not bad. He gets into the middle line. SCVs are going down and Maru, he's losing far too much. Yeah, losing far too much here. Maru, he was going for his 2-2 timing, but he's been dragged back and forth in between his bases. And Lambo, he's here to make a series out of this. Again, before Maru could do anything on the map, before he could hit his upgrade timing, he just gets torn apart here. 32 SCV kills. 32 SCVs. And if you remember, my concern was, does Lambo get into ultras? Does he survive that long? Can he get there in a decent with a decent economy? The answer is yes. The answer is he's fine. Ultra Cavern's on the way. We have Adrenal on the way until eventually 3-3. And Maru, his economy's in the gutter. Technically, Lambo might even end the game before there are ultras. As Lambo is almost maxed out. Building up 15 Banelings. Yeah, Lambo, have some confidence. We can keep going. There's nothing to defend. Lambo could deny the 4th. Could deny the 4th base, but now the planetary is finishing. Lambo may be being a little bit too respectful here. He may not be aware just how far ahead he is. Collapsing in the army. Trying to bait out those mine shots. Ooh, yeah, mine shots get baited out. Massive amount of Ling Main does break through. Oof. It does break through, cashing out more reinforcements, pushing into the mineral lines. More SCVs will go down. And Lambo, he breaks the planetary. Yeah, planetary falls. Again, Maru, he cannot defend. He was broken earlier. Bailey's, can they get in? Not quite. But it's fine. Still 32 SCV kills. Lambo overwhelms. Ultra production has begun, so we are getting into ultras. And Maru, well, he's coping pretty hard here. I mean, has been for a while. Ever since the first dive, ever since we saw Maru plummet 70 supply, it's been a rough position here for Maru. And again, his only hope for recovering was Lambo being passive. But thankfully, he was not. He was not passive. Flank on the left. Ultras have arrived. We need a little bit more time for kindness plating, but Lambo, he doesn't wait. He doesn't need to be honest. And GG gets called. Lambo ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match here. Again, Maru, who was being hyper greedy, going 3cc 3x with a fast double E-bays and into eventually 2-2. He was building up into that 2-2 timing, but just before he got there, he was vulnerable. It also didn't help Maru that he went for a double drop, so he had a bunch of supply out on the map, but he was just torn apart. We saw a run by the natural, we saw the counterattack at the third base. Maru, who was just being pulled left and right, torn apart by all the aggression, and Lambo did outmaneuver. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have an ace match. We have a game 3. Let's go. We're loading into game 3. Going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Ooh, one of these smaller maps. Okay. One of the smaller maps of the map. One spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player, the German Zerg, representing Shopify. It is Lambo. Here we go. Maru, who was punished for his greed, but we should not be seeing that level of greed here on Ruby Rock. Much smaller map, much more aggressive map as well, so we are expecting to see Maru go for either a more assertive build or just calm things down a little bit. Does he go for the third CC before Factory and Rax again? That's a better question. Does he do it again? I'm not opposed to the opener, but the follow-up was just a bit too much last game. I mean, I say that, I wasn't opposed to it on Winter Madness. I wasn't opposed to it, but I mean, again, we saw that the defenses were lacking for Maru. Again, maybe a little bit of overconfidence out of Maru in game 2. We'll see if he tightens things up here in game number 3. So now, hatch gas pool, standard open out of Lambo. And we'll keep an eye on Maru after the CC. Just at command center. So far, we've seen 3cc 3 racks. We've seen 3cc 2-on-1 Hellbat push. I wouldn't be opposed to even going back to Hellbats here in game number 1, but at the same time, I like the idea of seeing something new, something different. Show us what you got. And now we see something more standard. Maru going for the factory after the natural. Okay, so standard build here out of Maru. We're done with the fast 3cc. Gonna show it off in the first 2 games. But definitely something I'm gonna be trying to remember and keep in the back of my mind is Maru's willingness to go for that fast 3cc style. Oh, speaking of willingness though, Lambo willing to go for an all-in. That is a 235-ish, 240-ish Roach Warren timing very early, and we've seen this before. We are going for fast borrow. Let's go. Let's go, baby, let's go. So it's going to be fast borrow. It's going to be 2-base all-in. Basically, the way this works is borrow works almost the same way the blink works for stalkers, where when a roach gets low on HP, you borrow the roach. You borrow the roach individually, so it survives the fight, it regenerates HP, and then you can unborrow it, bam, you poke back up once it has decent amount of regeneration to keep the aggression going. Remember, roaches, they heal when they're borrowed. So here we go. Here comes the all-in. Here he comes. Again, this is not the first time we've seen this out of Lambo. As roaches are rolling across the map. But if you remember, we saw this during Lambo's games on... or during his games in Home Straight Cup as well. True. As roaches are sent across the map. Burrow is now done. And Maru back in. What does he have to defend? No Cyclone, no Bunker, only Hellions. Hellions, they cannot defend against this, by the way. Lambo, he can do this. He can do it. It was a third CC afterwards into Mech. Oh, God. Cyclones will help. He has to buy time for his Cyclones. Oh, roaches are clumping up here. There's the burrow, but a Hellion, the splash damage can still hit that roach. But you can see they're healing. You can see the roaches are healing. Once again, does burrow. There's the scan. Forcing the unburrow. But only one roach has gone down so far. Oh! Yeah, just one roach for the time being. But Maru, he's buying enough time for his Cyclones. Yeah, the Cyclones are out, which means Maru, he defends. And Lambo knows. Lambo's running. Lambo, he's running up back at home. The all-in has failed. Now the goal is just contain. Just contain for as long as possible. Oh. Doesn't quite get a Hellion. Hellion survives. Oh, good. Yeah, catching up more of the roaches. And every roach is going to fall. That will trigger a counterattack. And back at home, what is it to defend? There are so many Hellions. Yeah, Hellions are moving out. So are the Cyclones. Macfield is almost done. And it's going to be a shaky defense here for Lambo. Remember, Lambo, he skipped link speed to do this. Technically, if he needs to, he could borrow his roaches. Sorry, his drones, I meant to say. Could borrow his drones to protect them. Jesus, they line up. Drones, they line up for a moment there. Thankfully, they pull away in time. Only one drone goes down. And the roaches have arrived. Okay. Lambo's holding. Lambo's holding on back at home. Hellions, they rotate towards the natural. They make their way in. Roach is out of position. Very out of position here. The drones are once again clumping up. Oof. Getting into 4, getting into 5 drone kills. Can we get 6? We can. 6 drones go down. A nice trade here from Maru. Maru trades well. And interestingly enough, we have Maru switching into tanks already. Usually we would delay tank production here for more battle mech. But no, already switching into tanks. Already massing up. Now again, when it comes to Maru playing mech, mech has been making a big return in recent times, but even then, Maru played a lot of mech last year. It was a little bit different though, and there was more reason to. Everyone was playing mech. Clem was playing mech, Bjorn was playing mech, Maru was playing mech. If you remember, the reason for that is because that was back with the previous bugged Cyclone, with the Cyclone being stronger than what it was intended. So battle mech was permeating throughout all matchups last year. Which is also why, since it was quote-unquote fixed and adjusted and nerfed in the latest patch, we assumed that that would have battle mech die off, but the answer is no. We've been seeing a lot more and more mech as of late. If you remember, if you were here for Big Gabe versus Cyril, Big Gabe during Home Story Cup did actually defeat Cyril, did defeat him at Home Story Cup with mech multiple times. So Cyril had a harder time against that. Maru now whipping it out against against Lambo. Whipping it out. Behind this we have Tunneling Claws. Scan confirms that Tunneling Claws is on the way. Confirms that there's research on the Roach Warren. So Maru, he knows. He also confirms the Hive. And the switch into Link Speed. He saw so much. So much in the main. As we have extra factories on the way, building up more mech. Just building up. Lambo has potential with his army, but as we mentioned before, Tunneling Claws was scouted, and now there's a Raven. Yeah, Raven does give chase. Here's his second army on the right hand side. And Lambo, can he break through those tanks? Can he avoid them even as well? Yeah, boys are being pulled, and he gets us around. The erosion on both angles here, or really from just one angle. Takes down two tanks. Messy fight here from Lambo, but Lambo does get the mineral line. 19 SCVs go down. And economically, Maru, he's crippled. Maru, he is crippled. Down to 55 workers. We have Banshee Speed on the way. Hyperflight Rotors. Cheeky moves out of Lambo. It's getting cheeky, Pat. But Lambo has momentum. He has momentum, and I'm hoping he doesn't lose that momentum himself. Lambo, he's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. He's taking up a little bit further into the Spire, into Viper production as well. But I'm hoping that Lambo keeps the pressure up and keeps pressure on to keep Maru down and out. To keep his economy in check. Otherwise, he's allowing Maru to build up a greater army to get into mech. Which again is terrifying. Forcing out a scan. Catching out more Roges, that's a lot of dead supply. Maru's getting his fourth base up and running. This should not be happening. Lambo's main army needs to be here to deny the expansion. Remember, like Maru, his main army is centralized here at the third base. That fourth base is so exposed. It's protected by the battle mech, I suppose, but it might be too late. Now we have depots, turrets, sensor towers. Now the tanks are repositioning. Now we're securing this fourth. Yeah, it is now much more secure. The Vipers can help. They can throw down blinding clouds. They can abduct. Oof, but the tank lorries are brutal here. Maybe we get some decent blinding clouds. But there's 4 more tanks behind this. CC does lift. Lambo pushing forward. Can he break through? The reinforcements. Gets a tank. There's still 4 tanks left. Yeah, with the help of these bombs, with the help of the reinforcements, it looks like the final tanks are going to go down, and Lambo, he has broken Maru. Ay, ay, ay. He has barely broken through. In the hardest way possible as well. I do feel like there was potential to break this position before the army had amassed, so I didn't have faith. I was like, yo, Maru, he's got what, like 6-7 tanks sieged up in position. But nice blinding clouds, nice flank as well, drawing away some of the tank fire. Yes, they're Lambo. And this time, refining his army, right? Now, less roaches, more lings, more hydras. An army that's better built to dive. Oof. It's a lot of tanks. Now, if there's anyone that can turtle up after deficits, it's Maru. Like, Maru, he is the best when it comes to turtling, when it comes to just slowing the game down. That is what Maru's renowned for, in this matchup specifically, in ZvT. So if anyone can, it would be Maru. You know, we got Ascendant, this time with 5 Vipers. Jesus. Lacking a little bit of energy here, but regardless, 5 Vipers are available. Lings, they come in for the run by. They are spotted. And army collapsing in. Here come the Lightning Clouds. Covering 3 tanks so far. 4. But not quite enough. Yeah, Lambo does not have enough. He cannot break through. Does he have a Greater Spire? He does. Okay, Greater Spire is done. A Broodlord switch would make the most sense here. Ready for his Broodlords. Yeah, last from here he's getting ready. Corruptors are amassing. What is the anti-air looking like? Mainly Cyclone, right? Well, actually, my apologies. There was already a Viking count pre-set up. It's already a decent chunk of Vikings. They were to respond into answer to the Vipers, if you recall. So Maru, he has an answer. We got the first Broodlord morphing in. Lambo, he has to free up supply. Because this is taking so long, this does allow Maru to actually secure himself. So there was a point where he was down 70, 80 supply. But now Maru, he's almost maxed out himself. And he's securing his 4th. Again, once you get the 4th base, you can max out as the Meching Terran. Thor production has begun. Oh, going into the fusion core as well. You have my attention. Could be for just Liberator range, but it also could be for BCs. Scan reveals, confirms the Broodlords. Oof. Yeah, big scan. And that lead, that momentum that Lambo once had isn't there anymore. The one advantage he should have here this game now should be the tech, but the problem is that there are already a good amount of Vikings, and now Thors are on the way. The Broodlords are not ideal, not anymore, especially without Infestors. I'm getting deja vu. Been here before. Recently. As nice and very nice abductions here, does get almost every single Viking. Oh my god, he shuts down every single Viking. Let's go. No more Vikings, only Thors remaining. Another abduction. 2 Thors left. And if Lambo can kill every single Thor here, he can end the game. The Vials. Oh my god. Still very clutch. We're still very clutch. Still very close. Another Viking trickles in. Broodlords, they break the main army, they break through the tank line. The hero Viking doing what he can. And the lone hero Viking in the end, Lambo, he is pushing through. Pushing into the natural. You can see he's remaxing with Hydra Roach. Queens, they hit the transfuse. Very nice setup with the Queens. Queens are in position. Maru stuck in 3 bases. Just now getting the southern 4th though. Does expand. Lambo currently is unaware. He's trying to force his way further in. Catches out one of the Thors. Gets a second Thor just barely. Still a very messy engage. Yeah, very messy here. Blinding Clouds on the tanks. Main army moves in. The Biles, they catch another tank just barely. But Maru holds. Or he does hold on. And again, unfortunately, Lambo, he's just not aware of the fourth. Otherwise, he should be denying mining here. Maru, he has an economy. His economy, he's building back up. Recouping his losses. And Lambo now is aware. Can he kill the CC? With all these Hydras, he may be able to. He may just kill the CC here. So steps forward, it gets both tanks. Oh, ignores one. And gets both. Yeah. Takes down the fourth base. I say that, but the SCVs did survive. They're transferring over. Mass Mule, the Mule Hammer. Maru, he just refuses to go down. He refuses. Building up more Thors, more tanks. Has Biles that didn't quite catch a tank. Does get a CC. Got a command center at the same time. Blue Flame Hellions, they bust into the northern base. 16 drone kills. Oof. Crazy damage. Crippling Lambo. As Lambo desperately needs an economy. Maru technically ahead economically. He's got mules. So greater economy for Maru. Still building up more tanks. This one was the anti-air looking like 4 Thors. If Lambo had a bank that he could maybe try to afford, like, once again, another Broodlord switch. Okay. Picks up 2 more Thors. Tries to at least. They get away. Thors, they pull away in time. Maru, he now has a comparable, if not greater, main army. Still maintains his bases. Lambo didn't really drone up too much. As Maru can now start knocking down expansions. At the same time, does knight one of the bases. Okay, nice move. Lambo has to do the best he can to just stifle the economy. Maru, he's running out of steam. His main base is mined out. His natural is mined out. This is it. Like, this is all the mining that Maru has. He's got like half a base. And as Maru expands topside, honestly, there's an opening here. There's an opening into the main. Alright, what are we going for? Lambo, I meant to say. Lambo's max, and we have to make a decision. Do we push into the natural, or do we push in towards the northern base and deny mining? Like Lambo, we're maxed. What's it gonna be? We can't just sit around. Okay, roaches are tunneling in towards the main. They're scouting ahead of time. There we go, Dust Bust into the main base, allowing one of the tanks to survive. Big reaction here. Maru, he's racing on over. Does race over, losing a CC. Production's under fire. Yeah, the production is hurting. Rush Ravager moving in. While they do connect. Nice connections. Oh, these cyclones are a problem. And again, it's been impressive. Maru's been on the back foot for like 10 minutes. Like, it's maybe even more than that. It's been a rough game here for Maru, but like he's still hanging in there. And there've been some moments where he's just been out trading Lambo. Roaches are cleaned up. Lambo, he rotates over towards the top side. Again, his target should be this expansion. More Vipers on the way. And we're just moving in. And once again, Maru out of position. Completely out of position. 2 tanks going to be going down. Lynx collapsed in. He kills the CC. And Lambo, he's doing it. Like, he's... like, earlier, sure, Maru, he was able to take some better fights and have somewhat of economy. But Maru, he's down to 2 patches. GG gets called. And Lambo, he will take the series 2-1. Advancing on to the winners match. GG. Whew. Hi. GG, well played, Lambo. He will claim the series. Again, a very intense back and forth. And even though Maru was on the back foot for the majority of that game, it was still very tense just because Maru was able to expand, right? Like, he was so tenacious when it came to claiming his own 4th base and building back up his army. Every time that happened, though, I will give credit to Lambo. Lambo was there to knock down a base, knock down an expansion, to trade with the army. And even though there were times where Lambo was trading inefficiently, because he had so many bases, because he had more efficient mining, he could afford it, right? He could afford to take bad fights. He could afford to take worse engagements. And with that, he was able to break Maru. GG, well played. A very impressive play here by Lambo. Brings Maru down. GG, well played. Does bring him down. That leads us into the winners match. It is going to be a ZvZ. A ZvZ here between between Lambo and Rainer. Let's go. As a reminder, Rainer took down Creator. Meanwhile, Lambo took down Maru. We have that Zerg versus Zerg. Oh, but hey, here we go. But again, Maru, he was able to showcase some more unique builds in both Game 1 and Game 2 with the earlier CCs. Here in Game 3, he did go for a more standard opener into, of course, mech. But that's when Lambo was able to catch him with his pants down, able to commit into his roach all in. He did not kill, but he was able to pick off some SCVs and build up in towards that mid game. But GG, well played. With that, we have our winners match. The ZvZ is upon us, and we're loading into Game 1. It's going to be on Ruby Rock.